Greetings and salutations, dear friends. My name is Yurimakis, and welcome to the second episode of our Dyson Sphere Program Let's Play. In our previous episode, we set up a few smelters, turning raw materials into something that we could use. In this episode, we shall endeavor to travel a little bit further down the automation highway and expand our belt bus. If you're hungry for more Dyson Sphere Program and simply cannot wait, then head on over to Twitch, where I will more than likely be streaming it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 p.m. And with a shameless plug out of the way, let's get down to business. If we want to create a proper bus, we're going to need splitters. So first we'll need to do a little more research and unlock the improved logistics system. However, in order to unlock any further tech, we're going to need to research the matrix labs, which will give us the ability to create matrix cubes, and we will use those to expand our research tree, eventually via automation. The first matrix cube we will unlock alongside the lab, and that's the electromagnetic matrix, more affectionately known as the blue cube. And if you come from Factorio, this would otherwise be known as blue science, though the blue cubes are significantly prettier than their Factorio counterpart. And there we have it, research complete, new construction options. So as blue cubes cannot be handcrafted, we'll need to set up a lab to automate them. We could then use them from our inventory to unlock research, but we're definitely going to want to pump the cubes into another matrix lab to automate research in the end.
Matrix lab. You can use it to make super matrices or research technologies that require them to unlock. The super matrices are the source.
A key component in crafting matrix labs is glass, so we're going to need to harvest the rocks and get them smelted down.
You can be benefit to unlock more actual world technologies by operating the home world simultaneously.
So first we'll start with some additional miners on our stone vein. Then we'll merge the belts and bring them down. Now we add the smelters, set the recipe, plug in the sorters, get an output belt, add the power, and finally realize that we're bad at math. Fixed. I miscalculated the ratio of rocks to glass, but now we have a lovely saturated belt filled with glorious transparent material. Now we have the glass, we've crafted an additional matrix lab, so we can begin automation of our research. We'll set this lab to begin research, and the cubes will be directly transported via sorter, and magically the center brain will turn that into usable knowledge. So there are certain buildings that we can stack vertically, and the matrix lab is one of them. For now, the vertical limit on the matrix labs is only 3, so we'll go ahead and do that. This will speed up the production and processing of the cubes. We also need to make sure that we use enough sorters to transport cubes efficiently from lab to lab. Like so. Excellent. Improve logistics systems. The future starts here. One thing I completely forgot about was some of the quality of life upgrades we can do in the early game. So let's unlock the Mecha Core, Universe Exploration, and the Drive Engine, which will give us the ability to fly. So now that we have unlocked the splitters, we can begin to organize our bus into usable and manageable lines. We'll want to build a bus traveling north, bringing items from the bus to the west, and expanding the bus as needed to the east. Now we've unlocked a few upgrades through our temporary lab setup, we'll move to something a little less restrictive. In order to make a bus, we'll need a few splitters. The splitters come with various different modes we can cycle through by pressing tab. The mode we want is over and under. This will allow us to split a resource from a belt and pass it underneath any other belts.
Splitter with 4 directions. It can split the passing cargo or balance the cargo on multiple conveyor belts. The splitting speed depends on the conveyor belt speed. Use the tab key to switch between different styles, and click it to set priorities and filters.
Now we can stack an additional splitter in pass-through mode, which can be used to assist in stacking conveyors and merging inline belts. For this purpose, we use it to bring an additional resource over the splitter below. The space between belts horizontally will be important, because we're going to want to split multiple resources quite close together. So the minimum safe distance is 3 grid lines. That will change later on as we edge towards the north, but this bus line is primarily for our starter items, and will likely move towards a more modular build as we progress through the playthrough. Now that we've prepared our bus, we can go ahead and split off some of the iron, place down some assemblers to craft some gears, as everything starts with gears, and we're going to need gears to help automate conveyor belts. Right, gears are being offloaded into storage. We'll need to bring them onto the bus, and we can do that like so. The next part is going to be a little tricky. While gears had 1 line to split, magnetic coils have 2 lines. So we're going to want to split off copper, magnets, get the assemblers in, configure them, then pump the magnetic coils into a buffer chest, and finally add an additional line to bring them onto the bus. Handcrafting conveyor belts is starting to get really annoying, so I'm going to go ahead and pop down an assembler to do that automatically for us next to the gears. We'll have them pumping into this storage for now. And there we have it, our first automated building item. We'll move everything into some sort of central shopping area later in the series, but this will do nicely for now. So I made a little bit of an error when deciding on where to place this bus, as we've got a few oil seeps in our way. Not to worry though, because we'll just build around them for now. As I said, most of this is temporary, and we'll move to a modular design later on. So now it's on to circuit boards, which require iron, and copper. As usual, we'll get the assembler down, set the recipe, output to a buffer, and add it to the bus. Not forgetting the sorters. And there we have it. Or not. So the Mark I sorter is not able to keep up with the demand for iron ingots due to the way we've laid down our belts. The Mark I sorter will pull in items at a rate of 1.5, 0.75 and 0.5 items per second at 1, 2 or 3 grid distances. So it's always important to remember in the early game to ensure that the item desired most by an assembler is as close as it can be, so the sorter can bring that item in at the required rate. Unfortunately, there is still a slight delay on getting iron, so we'll just go ahead and add another sorter. There we are. Job's done. So, if we have a little look at our statistics panel, we can favorite the items we've just automated, set the filter, and view how many items per minute we're currently automating. We can see now that we have 90 gears per minute, which is correct, as we have 2 assemblers crafting gears at 45 per minute each, but we only have 90 coils per minute, which we'll have to check out in a moment. Circuit boards are climbing and should average out at 90 per minute. There we go. So let's check out the issue with magnetic coils. So one of the assemblers has stalled because we're only pulling items off the belt at 1.5 per second with a single sorter. Each assembler provides 45 crafts per minute, and each craft outputs 2 coils, so that works out to be 1.5 coils per second per assembler. So we need to add another sorter. I've gone ahead and put 2 extra to clear the backlog and get the additional assembler working. There we go. Now we have our glorious linguine. It's time to bring circuit boards, magnetic coils together for science. With blue matrices done, we just need to bring them out of their box and into some labs to continue our research. The moment we plug them in, the research we've already selected fires up once again. So if you joined us during our live stream over on Twitch, you'll see that we're doing things a little differently to start off. The bus method is going to help us in the short term to organize our starter base, but once we delve deeper down the logistics rabbit hole, we'll uncover more and more juicy technology that will not scale very well with this particular bus design. Hopefully we can improve moving forwards, but you'll just have to wait and see. In the next episode, we'll be looking into all the fun stuff that comes with expanding our power network. So make sure to like and subscribe for that content. And as always, love your face.